Marty. Good morning, everyone. I've had my cup of coffee and I'm braving the cold now. There's Morris. Hi. Hello. You gonna come up since Stripe's not out here? Stripe's asleep in on the couch. He was out toward the yard, ate, and was sleeping beside me while I was doing some computer stuff. There's Morris. Hey, bud. Good morning. The deer were in the yard last night and in a bad spot around 2:33 a.m. Yeah, I hope they didn't damage anything, but I'm not going to look right now. I just can't. Look at that gorgeous blue sky this morning. I'm seeing a lot of bird activity flying back and forth in the yard. The bird bath with the little heater continues to do great. Of course, the 28-degree night, which we had last night, is not super putting it through a super test, but still, it's definitely working here. Well, got a lot of squirrels out there making noise in the leaves this morning, running around, galloping through the yard. Yep. I am going on my normal Tuesday shopping run today in Ruby. And if Don Kenny's going to try to get the belts put on my printer, I'm still kind of limited to printing flat things right now. Flat things turn out good. Tall things, vertical things, things you care about the vertical, looking at the vertical part of them, the quality's not there right now. So I want to have hope that replacing the belts is going to fix that and get me back into prime quality, since we've had, honestly, so few problems with this printer. Although I can see how someone not mechanically minded at all would have trouble with even this printer. Of course, that's why you got Ecovate in downtown Raleigh, David's friend. You know, they would do maintenance and service. So you print a lot and you take it up there every 6 months and you let the nice guy that works for her, that's mechanically minded, service it for you. Not the end of the world, right? Have two printers, one goes down, take one up there. I mean, if you were trying to print things, you know, for people, I think it could be managed. There's got to be a printer shop near you where somebody would be able to fix things. Of course, you know, you don't be wanting to have to lift it and take it up there too often. But it's really not. It's more bulky than it is heavy. All right, I'm off. Poor spoiled girl had to pull the car out of the garage all on her own. You know, I'm always running late. So when it's out there, I appreciate it. Dawn had an 8:30 conference call and a 9:30 conference call. And I tried to plan so that I have enough time to get the car out. It's 10:28 now. I finished editing yesterday's video and it was worth the extra 3 or 4 minutes to get it sent this morning than to come home and have 5 minutes of work left. I just couldn't stop. I don't stop in the middle of doing stuff very well. I never have, and I don't think I'm ever going to. I'm one of those get stuff done people. And that's how our brains work. Never leave for later what you can finish now or cram into not enough time. Anyway, so Johnny seemed to have a successful first day of school. I forget which class, but they said one of the classes seemed like it was going to be boring. And my response was, well, first off, I've had boring classes too. I hated computer protocols in my computer science minor. I don't care how the packets of data get from one place to the other. I don't care. It's not fun. I'm not interested. I want to do, you know, at the endpoint programming for user interfaces and stuff. I don't want to, I don't care about how my data gets from point A to point B. But I, you know, survived that class. I don't remember. I probably made like a B in it. I didn't make less than a B. I might have made an A. I don't remember. But I didn't like that class at all. I didn't like the class at all. The only thing that was, it was an evening class and not a normal during the school day class. I don't remember why I ended up with an evening class. And there were some different and fun people in that class that kind of made it a little interesting. So, anyway, hopefully it's a good semester. The lab was supposed to be today, but I guess they're not having the lab the first week. So I don't think that's happening today. And let's see, what else? I don't know. That's all I can think of. I'm sure there's like 5 more things I was going to say, but I don't know what they were right now. So apparently Lego has come out with some new Pokemon sets. Mega Bloks had some Pokemon sets a few years ago. And, you know, Mega Bloks is okay, but they're no Lego. I would say even the Brick Craft, the Grinch sets I did, that those stick together really well and are pretty good. I would say I'm not a fan of Mega Bloks. But at any point, Lego now has some Pokemon sets, and they are large sets, they are detailed sets, they do look pretty darn cool, and they have the price tag to go along with them. I'm sure that's both a function of the set specific pieces they needed to pull off certain things, printed tiles and such, and paying for the use of Pokemon. So anyway, I am, as much as I love Pokemon Go, I'm not interested in the Pokemon sets. It's like I love Mario Kart. I'll play Mario Kart. If somebody says, hey, got Mario Kart up over here on the Wii, you want to play? I'm all over it, right? Play Pokemon Go all the time. But having Pokemon figures, other than there's a few in Johnny's bedroom, just not my thing. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's not a new genre of Lego. Dawn's breathing a sigh of relief now. That appeals to me. Where am I going to put Pokemon sets? I really like the city form factor, and the reason why is it's a massive number of pieces that fit on a 32 by 32 base plate, and they very orderly can sit side by side on a shelf somewhere, and they look like they're meant, you know, to go together in most cases and stuff like that. It just really appeals to me. I want between 3,000 and 8,000 pieces on a base plate that sit on a shelf that looks super cool. That's just my thing. I'm never going to try to set up a city, I feel safe to say, that has streets and, you know, is any more complicated than setting them on a shelf side by side. That is a lot of bricks to try to accomplish, very expensive to try to accomplish that, and I don't feel like that would be a lot of fun for me. So even though I really love what some other people do on a table layout where they have the city streets and stuff, that part of the city doesn't appeal to me. But anyway, check out the new Pokemon Go sets and be prepared to be shocked by the price. Alright, I got here on time. I am pretty comfortable in my long sleeves without a jacket, so that's nice. Maybe not if I was going to be outside for a long time, but short time. And I'm having pain on the bridge of my nose since sometime yesterday. I don't know if me and the cat bumped with my glasses too hard or what's causing it, but it hurts. I took Excedrin. Well, I'm all pulsed up. I am gonna hop across the street to Lowe's and see what's going on over there. Well, they're lining up over here getting ready for spring, and the garden center door is open today. Yay! Well, they have that really nice looking azalea. I'll think about it. These 4 plants here are on clearance. Well, it looks like all the Japanese maples are still here and they're still not marked down. So Ruby is doing a good job of picking where I want to go to next, you know, predicting from where I've been. I did get the azalea. I have the seat moved up really far so that it would fit there with no problems. I try to add an azalea or two every year. This one said, and I hadn't added any this year, and it was half price. And what I paid for it is more than a 1 gallon or a 3 gallon by a little bit, but really close. And azaleas are hard for the roots to really start growing. Like, they can really need some extra water not to dry out. They don't have aggressive roots. So the bigger the better when you plant them, if you don't want to lose them in a potential drought year. Anyway, not an encore. That's the only negative. Deer don't really like azalea. I didn't say they wouldn't munch on it, but they're not going to sit there and nudge it to the ground. These evergreen variety, they're just not. Azalea is not their thing. Prove me wrong, please don't. But should be relatively deer resistant. So anyway, it said it needs 2 to 3 hours of morning sun and can take the rest of the day in shade and still bloom. It doesn't want to be in the scorching afternoon sun. So in my yard, that's almost anywhere. There's a few spots. I wouldn't want to plant it right in the middle of the front yard. And hey, is that, I guess it's a Model Y and not a Ruby, but there's a red Tesla across the way that caused me to get distracted. Yeah, I mean, there aren't too many places in my yard where I can't plant this thing. So I think I'm going to plant it where the Helleborus and the Osmanthus are, right there when you come up the cement. I think I'm going to plant it over in that area. But I reserve the right to plant it in the side yard by the Tempest weather station. Either of those 2 spots will be okay. I did have them scan the Japanese maple barcode picture on my phone, and it was still regular price, FYI. So, it hasn't sold on a week when I haven't been here. Yay. And still not on clearance. Boo. Well, Hertz is definitely taking up more than their fair share of parking spaces. The work vans over here and the big, super big pickup trucks over on the other side. I guess I wish they'd move the pickup trucks down to these back spaces over here, because they're really too big for the spaces over here. They exceed the size of the space. They didn't ask me where I thought they should park their cars. That use up more than their fair share of the parking lot. All these are Hertz cars. All got out-of-state plates. There's a lot of them. I guess, you know, they're always shuffling cars around to where they need them. And holidays definitely move a lot of cars around. I saw that one of the senior assisted living facilities nearby, Cambridge something, just dropped off a small bus, a large van full of seniors to shop at Guardian Angel, which is awesome that it's a destination. But I think there'll be a few extra seniors inside with me today. Should take them down to Fuquay, or here in Fuquay. Maybe they hit up several thrift stores in the area today. I don't know. I would want to go thrift shopping if I was a senior. It's kind of Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, with a touch of Easter starting to be sprinkled in. And I picked up the cute owl and the cute Valentine's Day bird. He's got Valentine's in his little post bag on his chest. I'm going to drive up to get my items. I've got more than I can carry today because of this longer burger basket for Michelle. She has a stuffed animal called a Fuggler. I'm sure it's creepy or a horror dude or something. I don't really know what it is, but she's been looking for the right kind of basket for it. And I think this one will work, and she agrees. I sent her pictures. It was $15. And it has the fabric, and it has a plastic liner. So it's well worth the $15. So she said if it doesn't work for the stuffy, she's happy to have the basket anyway. So anyway, there's enough stuff in the cart with my stuff in the basket that I didn't want to carry it. And I didn't want to walk the cart back, and I didn't want to leave the cart out here. So we'll trust that it won't disappear before I get back up there. You gotta have some trust in life. No, Don is not here shopping with me. but this Quicksilver with the standard wheels is. And it's pretty busy here today, so I had to park beside them, but you know, I left a lot of room. It's fine. I trust the other Tesla driver with their brand new car not to want to make contact. I don't have a very heavy bag of bags today because they didn't have my Homestead Creamery cream last week, so I don't have any glass bottle returns. I sure hope they have some this week. Although I tried this Simple Truth brand at Harris Teeter. It's homogenized but not ultra pasteurized, and it does not have any emulsifiers in it. Only half and half though. It doesn't taste as good. Well, you know, the first couple of drinks with it were kind of so-so. But then afterward I got used to it and it's normal tasting now. Anyway, I hope they have my regular heavy whipping cream that I would like to get. So they're in the process of resetting the entire store. Coffee used to be on the other side. I mean, things are close to where they were, but they're not where they were. It's very annoying. So there's a newer than not Model X. Black everywhere. Although it has white seats. And there is someone in the passenger side. Down really close to the store on the right past the black trailer is the Cybertruck we've seen up here before. Let me try to zoom in. It's kind of that dusty rose color wrap on it. So, you know, they were in the process of resetting the entire store. And some things changed aisles, and a lot of things changed where they were on the aisle. Can I just say that I'm not a fan? And I promise not to whine about it for 5 minutes. I didn't have any serious trouble finding anything, but it seemed, the word I'm going to use is unnecessary. Had I wanted to go to a new grocery store, I would have gone to a new grocery store. I can't get the Homestead Creamery anywhere in Fuquay right now. Maybe when the new, what is it that's opening up? Publix? Maybe when the new grocery store near Kohl's opens up. I am going to go in there at least one time and walk around and see what's what. I'm going to check it out. The one out by Michelle is new also. Maybe it's Wegmans in Fuquay and Publix out by Michelle. Or maybe it's Publix. I gotta go look. It doesn't really matter. I've never shopped regularly at any of those, and I'm gonna give the one near us a try. The prices in Whole Foods today were insane in some things. I'm not talking about stuff went up 10%. I'm talking about stuff went up $1.50. One example was a 6-pack of Zevia drinks today was I want to say it was $7.99, and probably the cheapest I ever get those for is $5. So something a little less than $1 a can. When they're $7.99, or you know, when they're crazy expensive, I don't buy them. I'll buy the 12-pack. Those I think were $13.99 today. I've never seen them for $7.99 and $13.99. And I want to say that they had a few where they were changing to this new design. The ones they had loaded into the grab and go area. And I don't need newly designed cans. And I don't need prices raised. And I don't think it wasn't specific to Zevia stuff. There was other things in the store too that were like, you know, what in the world are they thinking that people are going to do that? Finally, on the bottled water, the Whole Foods brand that I was buying, that they downsized the bottle and increased the price by 50 cents at the same time. And it's just sitting there all through Christmas. No one would buy it. We're just buying the stuff out of Italy because it was actually cheaper. Well, I guess the Whole Food stuff was out of Italy too, but it was cheaper than the Pellegrino was cheaper than the Whole Food stuff. And like, people were not gonna do that. But I can't get my cream anywhere in Fuquay, and I kind of really care about the cream. And there are one or two other things in here that I can't get in Fuquay. So I keep coming, but I'm not happy. I'm not happy like I used to be. And there was no meat today. There was no picanha roast. There was no tri-tip. There was no chuck-eye steak. I think they want to say, as Dr. Berry would say, they want to sell panda massaged meat, and they want to sell, and they don't care, a small selection's good enough for them. And if it's $25 a pound, who cares? I mean, I've never bought a piece of meat for $25 a pound. Back in the day, a few times I did buy real prime rib roast, prime rib, for I think $15 a pound one Christmas, and then it had the prime discount, so it was something less than that. Although I'm paying a lot less at Harris Teeter. But anyway, I don't have any meat for dinner tonight. I have some shrimp. Shrimp was decent at like $1.50 a pound for jumbo white shrimp, wild caught US. Now it was, all the shrimp in there is previously frozen, but it was wild caught and nice. And I like white shrimp better than pink. I like my shrimp a little more on the firm side. So I think I'm gonna stop at Harris Teeter on the way home. But I was talking to Dawn yesterday. I buy more meat. I used to wouldn't have bought meat at Harris Teeter and didn't. And I bought meat here, or we bought meat straight from the farmer. But I'm just here to tell you that I agree with Dr. Berry that I don't think you need to be getting all of your meat from, you don't need to be getting all of your meat panda massaged, grass-fed, whatever. The ruminant stomach of the cow will fix most issues with the meat, will make it come out good for you. Pork and chicken is not the same, but with the beef it is. So I am currently, both because I don't want to choose to pay exorbitant prices for beef, and also because I don't think it has a better health outcome, I'm pretty content to buy the beef from Harris Teeter. So Don says he made himself some breakfast, because last night for dinner we had a pound of pork and a ground pork, nothing added, out of Canada, and it was organic. And we had a pound of ancestral blend beef, which they sell here, and it's ground beef that has liver and heart and stuff in it. Something that I wasn't raised to eat. My father was. I wasn't raised to eat, and I need it. There goes the Cybertruck on the move. I need it where it's disguised a little bit. So ground up and ground beef is good, and then seasoned and seasonings, and then the pork. We had that in our scrambled. I made scrambled eggs for dinner because Don and I are okay with that. Anyway, Don made himself another scrambled eggs with the nice meat that I had. It warms up really good on the saucepan with a tablespoon of bacon grease for the egg and the meat, and really saves on cooking prep time. I think some young people coming up, they could use some skills on how to prep food for the week, so they can eat real food and not fall into habits of, and I'm not talking about college kids or Johnny. I'm talking about people in the workforce. Are at that phase in their career. Maybe they've have a kid, getting ready to have a kid. Food prep and planning is a skill. But anyway, if you want to try to get in some liver, and you can't tolerate that because you weren't raised on it and you don't have a taste for it, I recommend the Ancestral Blend hamburger. And especially if you're going to season it with a little salt, red pepper, steak seasoning, minced onion, dried onion, garlic powder, mustard. Those are the seasonings I put in ours last night. You're not going to notice it. And even I've used it before with less seasonings, and the taste is really mild mixed in like that. So you might give it a try. I do think liver is a healthy food. It's just most of us can't stomach it. All right, well, I've talked long enough now. I finished my yogurt that I got in there. Coffee flavored yogurt. I kind of gave up on the ground beef. It takes too long to get the lady in there that they have serving it. I don't wish her to lose her job. I don't. She's just not the right person for the deli counter, and I worry about how sometimes the sanitation I see over there, I worry about it. And I think deli meat can be perfectly fine, but it has to be handled right. Anyway, I've mostly quit getting the roast beef here, mostly. And I just either have some beef at the house and then a little yogurt here. Or I might choose something else, but that's most weeks. Anyway, Don's working on the printer. I'm going to stop at Harris Teeter. Let me get out of here. Hey.
Hey, you're home.
Yep, I'm home. Nice day.
Yeah, it's not too bad out here.
So we did some more research on the bamboo belt replacement. And I guess the short story is Don's going to work on it over the weekend. And I'm going to live without it or live with printing things that are still doing okay and not push my luck on tall things.
Yeah, I figured 2 hours minimum, 3 hours if I'm okay, and more than 3 hours if things don't go well.
Right. Don was under the assumption he had to remove the entire cover.
And that's all that new AMS stuff that we did. That's all attached to the covers, and it's all snapped and screwed in place. There's like screws and stuff on that.
It's kind of like a timing belt, but except it doesn't break anything when it breaks. But anyway, the bamboo videos assume that the belt is broken on you.
Right.
And Grok said, and I guess he found some stuff on Reddit or whatever, that you can use the belt to put the existing belt to put on the new belt, and maybe you don't have to take so much apart.
That's right.
So, to not stress Don out, we're not going to do it on a work day.
Right.
He's going to get up Saturday.
That's right.
And I'm going to feed him, and I'm going to boot him out there.
She's going to crack, get me going.
I believe Don told Lloyd that, Kitten's printer wasn't working and she was pouty and he needed to go work on the printer. Well, to be clear, it's working. I just can't print tall things and expect them to look good right now.
Right. And the Z-axis belt isn't quite so bad.
Except you have to get to the bottom of the machine.
Yeah, and you have to be very careful not to turn the rods. They tell you to lock the rods in place just like when they shipped it.
Okay.
That's the first step, is lock the rods just like it was when you received the printer. So
yeah, and we did inquire at Ecovate 3D, David's friend in Raleigh, and they said their bench fee is $75 an hour, and that's nice. And I asked back, so how many hours does this repair typically take? Because I would hope they would have replaced the belts on a bamboo before and know what it takes. Maybe there's if things go right and if things don't go right. But they ought to have some guesstimate.
Yeah.
And also, I guess you can drop off broken equipment without contacting them in advance if they're open.
Yeah.
But I'd like to know how backed up they are. Are we talking I drop it off and it's ready Monday morning for me, which would make me happy? Or are we talking a 2 or 3 week wait and there ain't no conceivable way I'm dropping it? I told Don if it's $500 and a 3 week wait, we're just ordering a new printer. And we'll take one out of service and put the other one in service, and then you can work on it in your home. Yeah, then I'll end up with 2 printers, so that's good too, you know?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Not. He thinks I'm kidding. I'm not. I'm actually not kidding.
Not kidding.
I'm happy with the one I got, but if we're going to take it offline for weeks, that's not. Johnny's not close enough to go steal his while mine's being repaired. Otherwise, that would work too. So.
Right.
Anyway, I guess I better get the rest of the groceries away because I still got heaps of. I haven't got my groceries away.
See your priorities: groceries or printer.
Definitely cats and printer. Cats first, printer second.
That's right.
Well, you were first, but you were out there. That was helpful.
She did great. She gave me my kiss, and that's what
then I was. Let's get down to what's really, also important. Before dinner, I'm going to work on bags 9 and 10. I'm starting the second floor now. It looks like I don't even need this for the time being. And I have help, which I enjoy very much. Well, bags 9 and 10. Got the second floor done. Just build this side, attach them together. Then I laid it down for a test fit. I would say it's probably stable enough to build. There's not a lot of open area underneath that pressing would be a problem, but we'll see. I guess I'm going to go ahead and do 11 too. And then I'm going to make dinner. I've got the shrimp peeled, the onion, garlic, and butter ready to go. We're having like I said, the garlic shrimp and New York strip steaks tonight. So I'm done with 11 now. And it looks like the second floor of the music shop is going to be more musical instruments. You never know if the next floor up will be the same or different. So that's where I'm stopping for tonight. Did more stair steps, very similar to the first floor.